Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about the NCAA Women's College March Madness first round edition of on their way to the final four. Next, we have the round of 32, then the Sweet 16, then the Elite Eight, and then the Final Four. So now we have 13 games on the schedule today in the NCAA women's tournament. The first game I'm going to cover is number 11 Iowa State and number 6 Michigan. Now, Iowa State, their roster has been pretty consistent, pretty that well their roster has been pretty average because they ended the season at 23 and 11. So here is their roster. They have Addie Brown, Addie Crooks, Lily Hansford, Kenzie Hare, Sydney Harris, Ariana Jackson, Kesley Jones, Emily Ryan, Ali Tanky, Lily Talib, Lily Talili, Alyssa Williams, and Reagan Williams, and their coach is led by Bill Finley. So the statistics for the Iowa Cyclones women's Iowa Cyclones basketball team is Audie Crooks, 23.3 points. Addie Brown, 15.4. Emily Ryan, 9.8. Kenzie Hare, 8.3. Sydney Harris, 7.7. Adriana Jackson, 5.1. Kesley Jones, 5.1. Alyssa Williams, 3.3. Ali Tank, 2.2. Reagan Williams, 1.8. 1. Lily Talali, 1.2. Lily Hansford, 1.1. So that is their points per game statistics for the Iowa State Cyclones. And with their schedule, they really didn't have much. They really didn't have much adversity. I mean, they lost 2 games, but that was early in the season, and that was their longest losing streak of the season was 2. So those are the Iowa State Cyclones. And now let me get to the Lady Michigan Wolverines. Excuse me. The Michigan Wolverines roster is led by Macy Brown, Alyssa Crockett, Brooke Daniels, Talia Del Fosse, Alania Dunbar, Lulalia Gravy-Baskia, Jordan Hobbs, Malia Holloway, Greta Camp Schroeder, Olivia Olson, Sila Swords, Aliyah Van Turmerin, and their coach is Kim Barnes Arco. So their statistics are Olivia Olson, team leaders, 16.2 points. Sila Swords, 16.1. Jordan Hobbs, 13.4. Malia Holloway, 9.8. Greta Camp Schroeder, 6.8. Yulia Gravy-Baskia, 5.6. Brooke Daniels, 4.6. Talia Dasafoli, 3.5. Macy Brown, 2.2. Olivia Van Timmerin, 2.2. Alania Dunbar, 0.8. And Alyssa Crockett, 0.8. So the first game that I just covered is done. Now I'm going to get to the point spread. Point spread right now is Michigan at 2.5 points. And I do see Michigan winning this game. It'll be very, very close, but I do see Michigan winning it. The next game I'm going to cover is number 13 Liberty versus the Kentucky Wildcats, and that starts at 12 p.m. on ESPN. So it just in exactly 3 hours. So Liberty, the Liberty Flames roster consists of Claudia Assin, Elizabeth Agestidor, Malia Alexander, Anna Badosa, Asia Boone, Emma Hess, Jordan Hodges, Emily Howard, Avery Mills, Brooke Moore, Avi Nawabi, Caroline Sherry, Bella Samuda, Emma Solodis, P.N. Steenburn, Emmy Stout, and their head coach is Carrie Green. Their statistics for this season, they were tops in their conference, the CUSA, at 26-6. Bella Smuda, 11.8. Asia Boone, 10.5. Emma Hess, 10.1. Emily Howard, 7.4. Avery Mills, 6.9. Emmy Stout, 6.6. Jordan Hodges, 6.5. P.N. Stenberg, 5.3. Elizabeth Agestitur, 5.3. Brooke Moore, 4.7. Carol Sherry, 2.3. Claudia Assin, 2.2. Anna Bardosa, 1.9. Emma Solodis, 1.8. So those are the per game statistics for the Liberty Flames. For the Kentucky Wildcats, the Kentucky Wildcats roster consists of Georgia Amore, Tina Becker, Lexi Blue, Gabby Brooks, Almia Hassett, Tony Key, Dazia Lawrence, Jordan Abbey, Demonica Parviora, Cassidy Rowe, Clara Silver, Clara Strack, and Sanaya Tyler. And their head coach is Kenny Brooks. Statistics for the Kentucky Wildcats are Georgia Amore, 19.1. Clara Strack, 15.2. Deza Lawrence, 12.7. Tiani Key, 11.5. Amelia Hassett, 8.8. Clara Saliva, 4.1. Sanaya Tyler, 2.4. Tana Becker, 1.8. Lexi Blue, 1.7. Cassidy Rose, 0.9. And Gabby Brooks, 0.8. So, the Kentucky Wildcat ladies, those are the lineups, and I think for this game, the Kentucky Wildcats will hold serve. Right now, currently, they are a 16.5 point favorite, and I think that they will cover that. I really do. The next game I am going to cover is Indiana and Utah. Indiana right now is a 1.5 point favorite. Indiana Hoosiers roster: Lesis Bergesser, Lene Beaumont, Shay Siski, Sharnice Curry Jelks, Sydney Finn, Yarden Garzon, Valentina Calvoca, Juliana Lamendola, Lily Minster, Chloe Moore McNeil, Sydney Parsfa, Hannah Salvik, Caroline Stripling, Faith Wiseman. Their head coach is Terry Morin. The statistics for The Lady Hoosiers are Yarden Garzon, 14.5. Cindy Parrish, 11.9. Shay Kissy, 11.6. Caroline Strickland, 10.1. Chloe Moore McNeil, 9.9. Lily Minster, 6.7. Lexi Bergesser, 3.6. Juliana La Mendola, 2.3. Hannah Civic, 1.8. Valentina Calcovia, Caldolcova, 1.5. Sharnice Curry Jelks, 0.3. Faith Wiseman, 0.3. And that is the Indiana Hoosiers lineup. Now for the Utah Utes, Lady Utes lineup. Alyssa Blank, Samantha Crisp, Syra Evans, Grace Foster, Jenna Johnson, Gianna Nickens, Kennedy McQueen, Kylie Ray, Reese Ross, Nene Sao, May Tour, Ennis Vieira, Brooke Walker, Mason Wilk. The statistics for the Lady Utah Utes are Gianna Neatkins, 19.2. May Tour, 13 points. Kennedy McQueen, 10.5. Mason Wilkes, 9.3. Jenna Johnson, 8.1. Reese Ross, 0.8 points. Ennis Vieira, 5.2. Samantha Chris, 2.9. Brooke Walker, 1.8. Grace Foster, 1.8. Nene Sal, 0.7. Kylie Ray, 0.4. And Alyssa Blank, 0.3. So, with the point spread being just a point and a half, I wouldn't be surprised if Utah wins, and I'm going to go with the upset for this one. I'm going to go Utah. I really am. I'm going to go Utah right here. So, Utah is going to win this game in an upset. The next game I am going to cover is number 14, Stephen F. Austin and Notre Dame. Stephen F. Austin Lady Jacks are led by Faith Blackstone, Lydia Cook Wiggins, Hermaine Dominguez, Cha Garner, Mimi Gatewood, Hope Lee Millie, Trinity Moore, Kay Roseby, Ashlyn Trailer Walker, Atu Talucia, Avery Van Sickey. The statistics for the Lady Jacks are Faith Blackstone, 14.9, Ashlyn Trailer Walker, 13.4, Trinity Moore, 11.9, Avery Van Sickey, 11.3, Hermaine Dominguez, 11.2, Kay Roseby, 8.5, Cha Gardner, 5.9, Hope Lee Millie, 2.7, Atu Talucia, 2.4. And that is the lineup for the Lady Jacks. For the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Now, Notre Dame Fighting Irish, they were tops in the ACC when it comes to their competition. Their roster is led by KK Bransford, Sarah Crunell, Sonia Citron, Hannah Hadaglo, Lucy Jensen, Lissa Carlin, La Lucia King, Kate Koval, Olivia Mills, Olivia Miles, Cassandra Prosper, Emma Risht, Bella Tarani, Kylie Wilson, and Maddie Westfield. The head coach is Neely Ivy. The statistics for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish ladies are Hannah Haglio, 24.2 points. Olivia Miles, 16.2. Sonia, 13.8. Lilu King, 11.2. Maddie Westbeld 7.6. Cassandra Prosper, 5.8. Emma Rish and Kate Koval, 5.7 each. Lisa Carlin, 5.3. Sarah Kernell, 0.7. Bella Turan, 0.3. And Lucy Jensen, 0.0. So this game is supposed to be a blowout, and I believe that the odds makers have got this one right because the Notre Dame Fighting Irish is a 31.5 point favorite in this game, and they are basically giving Stephen F. Austin no chance, and Notre Dame is a much better team than Stephen F. Austin. We are almost we are almost done. I have 9 more games to get to. The the following game that I'm going to cover is Fairfield versus Kansas State. Now, Fairfield Fairfield they didn't their competition was a little suspect because they play in a lower rank conference. But here are their starters. Here is Megan Anderson, Lauren Beach, Janelle Brown, Rihanna Brown, Cyan Cole, Carolee Fisher, Kiriah Gregory, Jilla Herter, Julia Carpel, Katie L. Amorex, Kendall Magruder, Isabella Nicolette Lete, KC Pryor, Cindy Scott, and Emily Salmovic. And their head coach is Carly Thabit Dudonis. So for the Stags statistics, Megan Anderson 15.1, Katie L. Amorex 12.5, Amina Salomovic 9.8, Janelle Brown 8.3, Rihanna Brown 8 points, Cyan Cole 6 points, Cindy Scott 5.5, Kendall Magruder 5.1, Isabella Nicole Nicollet 5.1, Julian Herter 4.9, Julia Carpel 2.6, Casey Pryor 2.1, Lauren Beach 1.8 points. So that is the Fairfield Stags. The Kansas State Wildcats roster is a much stronger roster as far as the ladies concerned. Braylee Glenn, Jalen Glenn, Alexis Hess, Ioka Lee, Amani Lester, Eliza Muffin, Finley Osted, Michaela Parks, Tamara Pondexter, Giselia Sanchez, Taryn Sides, Serena Sundell, Kenny Taylor, Ziana Walker. And here is their statistics. Pretty much, I'm just going to, stop reading the statistics. You all can see it right here on the screen. But as far as the Kansas State Wildcats, they have a better team than the team that I just showed you, the Stags. When it comes to different conferences, they have different styles of play. So you can see a lower ranked team go 20, 32, and 7, but when they play a top-notch team like Kansas State, they have trouble defending them because they play in a lower ranked conference. Now, the next game I'm going to cover is Fairfield, no, excuse me, Fairleigh Dickinson and number 2 TCU, who I have for the Fairfield Kansas State game. I believe Kansas State can hold serve. They are 16.5 point favorite right now. Now I'm going to get to Fairleigh Dixon. Fairleigh Dixon, the roster. Here is the roster. A bagel Bubba Bador, Talia Batiste, Tanisha Brown, Abby Conklin, Taylor Tyler Edwards, Jada Elson, Dominique Garcia Blackwood, Joe Johnson, Kylie McDonald, Ali McGinn, Rebecca Osuwu, Lily Park, Ava Reneger, Sydney Stokes, Bella Toomey, Stacy Williams. And here are all the statistics for the Dixon Knights. The Dixon Knights, they are another team that if you don't know where they are on the map, you probably want to pull out a map and see where Fairleigh Dickinson University is, because I know exactly where it is on the map. I do. It's right between those lower ranked schools between Fairleigh. Oh, excuse me. The NEC is located in the southwest region of America. So the southwest region of America. So that's like right there between, like, just before you get to like St. Louis and stuff like that. So that's where the Dixon Knights are located. Now they were first in their conference in the NEC at 29-3. This is what I'm saying when it comes to March Mad March Madness, where no matter what team plays, it could be you can dominate your own conference, but when you get to playing different conferences, it is going to be a whole nother story. And I believe this game, it is going to be a whole nother story as of right now. TCU, the TCU Lady Horn Frogs. This team is this is a mismatch on paper. It really is, because you can see the Horn Frogs roster: Taylor Bigby, Madison Connor, Agnes Imba Nopu, Kanisha Godfrey, Ella Hamlin, Donovan Hunter, Una Janovic, Latila Mazurik, Denicia Morel, Sanadia Prince, Aaliyah Robertson, Maddie Schreier, Deja Turner, Haley Van Lith. So TCU Horned Frogs, they are just gonna have a field day against this team, because I looked at them I've looked at them extensively throughout the entire season. You see where they were tops in their conference, the Big 12, at 31-3. So TCU is going to win this game. They are favored by over 30 points in this game. So I'm not going to go on too much. When I see another blowout, blowouts the blowout point spread, I'm just going to go right to the rosters, head coaches, statistics, and then just give my prediction because I see quite a few blowouts on this list, and I'm not going to take much time trying to dissect what dissect games that are going to be blowouts because those games really don't matter. So the Grand Canyon Lopes, they were tops in their conference in the WAC. They are led by Tierra Brown, Callie Cooper, Elijah Douglas, Alyssa Durezo Francis, Caitlin Elisos, Laura Eric Strupp, Sydney Eric Strupp, Lucy Galafin, Caristia Janesophy, Bridget Mullings, Nikia Obazador, Anna Osti, Trinity San Antonio, Esha Stroud, Noma White. So those are the Grand Canyon. Those are the Grand Canyon Lopes. Here are their statistics. Here are their statistics, and Trinity San Antonio, it has been the leading scorer throughout. And you can see, like I said, I mentioned their schedule. They really didn't play anybody, and you can see where they have been on a 17 game winning streak. Their last loss, was against Oregon, and that was November 18th. November 18th. So they haven't lost a game since the new year has started. So now we have gotten to the Grand Canyon Lopes. Now let's look at Baylor. The Baylor women, another team that I have looked at over the years. This team is pretty much a well-oiled machine because everybody on the team has averaged at least 12 points. You have, for the Baylor Bears roster, you have Kyla Abraham, Sarah Andrews, Madison Bartley, Yay Fly Fielder, Bella Font Leroy, Enia Gornovia, Wada Jennings, Durania, Little Page Bugs, Aaliyah Maru, Kayla Nims, Jana Van Ginbeck, Arana Van Leck, Jada Walker. The head coach is Nikki Collin. The statistics for the Baylor Bears, as you can see, they are right here. The Baylor Bears have been a well-oiled machine for the past. I'm gonna say 6 years. They are always in this position, and then when they get to this point, they always crumble under pressure. So now we are going to go to the point spread. The point spread for this game is Baylor. They have Baylor by 16 according to ESPN Bet. And Baylor, they are going to win this game outright. I wouldn't be surprised if they blow this team out by 25. So by the time 7 o'clock gets here tonight, we should know whether if Baylor is going on or if we have an upset. Now, Tennessee Tech and South Carolina, I'm not going to go into that very deeply. Only thing I'm going to do is show you the rosters and show you their statistics for both teams. And I'm just going to go ahead and say South Carolina is going to win this game outright. You already know who their head coach is, led by Dawn Staley. And here are their statistics for the Lady Gamecocks. And give you all a second to read this. The Lady Gamecocks lineup, they are one of the most lethal lineups in all of women college basketball. Now, as far as for the team that they are playing, Tennessee Tech, they are a team that is top in their conference in the OVC. Here is their roster. Here their head coach is led by Kim Rosman. Here are their statistics. Their statistics player by player per game. Here is their schedule. The schedule that they have had is pretty much not they didn't have many problems with their schedule, but around this time, this is March Madness, so anything is allowing to happen. So I don't need to tell you who is going to win this game because Las Vegas has pretty much told us who is going to win this game. So we are at the final stretch of the show. We only have 7 more games to cover. The first is Montana State versus Ohio State. The Montana State Bobcats, here is their roster. Brooke Berry, Drea Brumfield, Olosba, Bunyan, Taylor Churik, Lexi Deden, Mara Draysky, Tegan Erickson, Addison Harris, Taylor Jansen, Ella Johnson, Caitlin Martin, Esmeralda Morales, Dylan Phillip, Natalie Picton, Hannah Robbins. Their head coach is Trishina Benford. And here is the Montana State Bobcats statistics for their per game statistics and every player that has been on their roster. Give you all a second to really look at the statistics for both teams before I go on. And back to Ohio State, I go. Ohio State. Now we know Ohio State, the Ohio State women, they are a team that they were top 3 in the Big Ten. Here is their roster. Their head coach is led by Kevin McGuff. The statistics for the Ohio State Buckeyes women. Here is their statistics. Give you all a minute to see their leaders for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now, this game, it really shouldn't be close. And from what all point spreads and sports books that I have seen, they have Ohio State hovering around 15, 16. There was one sports book where I saw where the Buckeyes were favored by 17 points. So they're keeping it in that 15 to 17 range. So this is not a deep thought for me. Ohio State is going to win this game. Montana, they have a 5% chance at winning this game, but that's a puncher's chance. Only thing you need is a puncher's chance in March Madness. So I have the Ohio State Buckeyes winning this game. The next game I'm going to cover is the Oregon Lady Ducks versus the Vanderbilt Lady Commodores. The roster for the Oregon Ducks is led by Sophia Bell, and here is their roster. Their head coach is Kelly Graves. And I'm going to give you all a minute to look at who is all on the Oregon Ducks roster. Then I'm going to shift on over to statistics. And here is their statistics. They are led by Deja Kelly, and the list goes on. Oregon, in this case, is another team that is always in this position every year. Let's see if they can kick the door in and make some noise against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Vanderbilt Lady Commodores, here is their roster. They are led by Shea Ralph. Their head coach is Shea Ralph. Here's the Commodores statistics. The Commodores are led by Malika Blakes. And the Vanderbilt Commodores and the Oregon Ducks, this game is very intriguing. This game can go either way. We see right now that they had that ESPN bet has the Vanderbilt Commodores favored by 5.5 points. But I think Oregon can win this game. I really do. I really think Oregon can win this game. This is the first round. This is the very first day of, the second day of March Madness, the women's March Madness. So anything can happen. So I am going to take the upset. I'm going to choose the big O, and pretty much the Commodores are just going to have to go home because they are going to lose this game. Now, if the Oregon Ducks lose this game and the Vanderbilt Commodores win, I will come back on here and say I was wrong, just like I did yesterday when McNeese somehow beat Clemson in the men's tournament. I'm still not sure how that happened. So I have the Oregon Ducks winning this game. The next game I have is Ball State versus Ole Miss. I have Ole Miss in this game. I'm going to give you all their roster, their statistics. This shouldn't be a game because Ole Miss should come out and just take care of business. The Rebels head coach is Yolette Mefi McComb. Here are the Ole Miss Lady Rebels statistics. They are led by Madison Scott. Here is their opponent, the Ole Miss opponent that they are going to be facing, which is Ball State. Ball State Cardinals has been a bad team. When it comes to playing the SEC over the years, they have been a bad team because they have lost more times than not when they have faced an SEC foe when it comes to basketball. So here are the roster for the Ball State Cardinals. Their head coach is Brady Saley. Here are the Cardinal statistics. They are led by Alex Richard and this game, it shouldn't be close. It really shouldn't be. Ole Miss, come on out. Ole Miss needs to just come on out and just take care of business. Get this game out of hand. Going into halftime, they should be up by 20 to 25 points. They really should. Because Ball State, even though that they have a good record, they have no business being in playing against a team like Ole Miss. But I am not one of the schedule makers. If I was a schedule maker for March Madness for the women's and men's, I would pick more intriguing matchups because that is not an intriguing matchup. The next game I'm going to cover is the Nebraska Nebraska Cornhuskers and Louisville Cardinals. Nebraska Cornhuskers, the roster is led by Petra Bozan, and their head coach is Amy Williams. The statistics for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, they are led by Alexis Makowski, and Nebraska, on the other hand, see, Nebraska, they are one of those teams that are in the Big Ten that are almost at the bottom of the totem pole. They are just an average team. And Louisville, they are, I would say, a little bit better than a little bit better than the Cornhuskers. The roster for the Louisville Cardinals, they are led by their head coach is Jeff Waltz. They are led by Alariza Arenas. Their statistics are led by Jada Curry with 13.4 points. This game, Nebraska, Louisville, we already know Nebraska is pretty much a bad team, but they are an average team at best. The Louisville Cardinals are a team that can go all the way in this case. They can. Even though that the point spread is 2.5, I'm still going to take Louisville. I really am. I'm still going to take Louisville. The next game I'm going to cover, final four games that I'm going to cover. These are the final four. Georgia Tech versus Richmond. Georgia Tech, Lady Yellow Jackets. Here is their team roster led by Rasheen Agunstanate, Kayla Blackshear. Their head coach is Neil Forner. And here are their statistics for the Yellow Jackets, led by Cara Dunn and Tony Morgan, 13.8, 15.8. So, and let's fast forward to Richmond. Richmond is a team where they are tops in their conference as A10 champs. So here is the roster for the Richmond Spiders, led by Faith Alston, Addie Bunnick, and their head coach is Aaron Roussel. Aaron Roussel, here are their statistics. Here are their statistics for the team. Here are their team leader statistics. Maggie Dugan. They are led by Maggie Dugan, Rachel Allstorm, and everyone, and the list just goes on. So now, when it comes to this game can really go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Georgia Tech somehow upset Richmond, because Richmond is just a 1.5 favorite. I mean, you really don't have to think about this much, because a possible upset is coming. A possible upset will happen. So, I am going to go against the grain. I'm not taking Richmond. I am taking Georgia Tech in this game. The next three games, they are all blowouts. I'm just going to go with the favorite. Duke is going to win, Tennessee is going to win, and UCLA is going to win. I am going to show you all their rosters and statistics for both teams in the next three games. And then I am going to finish out the show, which it wasn't really a long show today. So pretty much congratulations everybody who is on my promotion team. We got it done within an hour, so great. So Lehigh Mountain Hawks, here's their roster. Their head coach is Addie McKeer. Here are their statistics for the Mountain Hawks, led by Maddie Albrick and Emma Steamer. And here is their opponent, Duke. The Duke Blue Devils, the Lady Duke Blue Devils. Here is their roster for the Duke Blue Devils. Their head coach is Cara Lawson. Here are their statistics, led by Toby Farner, 13.4, Ashlyn Jackson, 12.4. And like I told everybody, Duke is going to win this game. Their point spread is 27.5, so not much to talk about there. South Florida, they are third in the American Conference when it comes to college basketball. Here is their roster, led by Jeanette Arneal, Victoria Blasai, and here's the rest of their players. Jose Fernandez is their head coach. And here are their statistics. They are led by Sammy Pusis, Victoria Blasai at 10.5, Sammy Pusis 14.8. And here are the remaining players on their list, on the starting lineup list. And here is the Tennessee Lady Volunteers. Tennessee Lady Volunteers are led by Favor Adoydell, Kenya Boyd, Talisa Cooper, Eddie Darby, Tess Darby, Alyssa Leith, Sarah Puckett, and here are their next 7 players. They are led by Kim Caldwell. The statistics for the Lady Volunteers are led by Talisa Cooper at 16.7 points, Jewel Spear 13.1, and here are the remaining players, with Ruby Whitehorn at 11.6, Z Spearman 11.5, and now. So one thing about it, it is this team is this game is a foregone conclusion. So the last game I am going to cover is the Southern Jaguars versus the UCLA Bruins. This game is a 41 and a half. UCLA is a 41 and a half point favorite. The Southern Jaguars roster consists of Sky Castro, Deshaunte Edwards, Aaliyah Fenate. Their head coach is Carlos Fuches, and here is their remaining roster. Here are their statistics for the Southern Jaguars, led by Ayana Gordine, Sanaya Reed, and Aaliyah Fanat. So, the schedule for the Southern Jaguars, they were first in the SWAC. They had a losing streak that to start out the season, a 8-game losing streak and they still make it here. So that's a success in and of itself. And here is the UCLA Lady Bruins. Now, these are these women for the UCLA Bruins are some snipers from the 3-point line. They really are. You have Alina Arlancinio, Janiyah Barker, Lauren Betts, Avery Kane, Kendall Dudley, Angela Dugalic, Tamia Garner, Gabriel Gabriel Waquez, London Jones, Charlicia Ledger Walker, Amanda Moons, Kiki Rice, Zania Shaka Nugman, and their head coach is Corey Close. So that's the Lady Bruins roster. Here is their team leaders for the Lady Bruins. Lauren Betts, 19.6 points. Kiki Rice, 12.8. Gabriel Waquez, 9.9. London Jones, 8.8. Angela Dugalic, 7.7. Janiyah Barker, 7.6. Tamia Gardner, 7.6. Alina Arsalanio, 5.2. Kendall Dudley, 2.2. Zania Saka Newman, 1.8. Avery Kane, 1.5. And you know who I am going to predict in this game. 41.5 point favorite in this game is UCLA. I don't see them losing. I see a blowout. This game should be over by halftime, and I think that is what is going to happen. So, as for that, those are my predictions for the NCAA women's first round of March Madness, which tips off today at 11:30 on ESPN2. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Also, remember, we are doing an expansion over here on YouTube, and also we are doing an expansion over on my other show, Key City Sports. So, please like, comment, share, subscribe to both shows, Key City Sports on Instagram, Key Town Sports right here on YouTube. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.